Hello everyone, my name is Shivanti Jones and I am a doctoral candidate at California Intercontinental University. This is my Unit 5 presentation for HCM 612 for Dr. Gary Haney. Today's topic for the presentation is Gray Literature in Health Research. This is the agenda for today's presentation. We will begin our presentation by looking at what is gray literature. Then we will move on to identifying the different types or different forms of gray literature and the different sources where gray literature can be obtained. We will then weigh in the value and the drawbacks of using gray literature in research. We will then move on to how to successfully use gray literature in our research. We will end the presentation with recommendations and questions. So what exactly is gray literature? According to the International Conference on Gray Literature stands for manifold document types produced on all levels of government, academics, business, and industry in print and electronic formats that are protected by intellectual property rights of sufficient quality to be collected and preserved by libraries and institutional repositories, but not controlled by commercial publishers. Basically, the main difference between regular literature and gray literature is that gray literature is unpublished, non-commercial, usually hard to find information that organizations such as professional associations, research institutes, think tanks, and government departments produce. The next question we will answer is what is considered to be part of gray literature? Academic papers including theses and dissertations, research and committee reports, government reports and publications, conference proceedings, papers and posters, ongoing research, working papers, white papers, internal documentation, technical reports, regulatory data, unpublished trial data, patents, policies, and procedures can all be considered as gray literature. The common thing about all of these forms is that they are largely unpublished and non-commercial data that is made available to us to use. So where do we find gray literature? What are some of the common sources of gray literature? The most popular one is probably through web searches. Google Scholar is a very popular source for finding gray literature. There are also gray literature databases that are specifically for material that is considered to be gray literature, such as Open Gray, Wonder. Conference proceeding information can be found at Conference Papers Index, and clinical trial registers give you data about ongoing trials and anything that is still under research but not published. When there is so much peer-reviewed and published data and research, why do we still look at gray literature? What value does gray literature provide? It provides a balanced research through systematic and academic sources. It provides a comprehensive overview of the evidence, a 360 look at the evidence that we have gathered. A systematic review may enrich the research findings and reduce the possibility of publication bias. It questions the evidence and gives a different context to the research question. There is a lag between gray literature and published literature. Gray literature may sometimes actually give us the current picture of what is happening within a body of research. And these are some of the reasons why we still consider gray literature when we are conducting research. Using gray literature in research also has a lot of drawbacks. When you do a simple search, whether you use Google Scholar or just simply any search engine, you are going to come up with a lot of hits. A simple search provides numerous results and it is sometimes really unmanageable. It takes time to navigate all that information and gather what is actually useful that you can use further in your research. The information also has to be validated and proved to be reliable. Gray literature is not widely accepted in the academic arena and is often questioned for reliability, validity, and accuracy. So, how does one utilize gray literature in research? By ensuring that gray literature is current, that you are using data that is within a certain period of time and is not outdated. For example, you are doing a research on healthcare expenses and you find gray literature or gray data from 2010. This information is not relevant and current to the topic that you are researching. You need to find data that is more closer to 2020. Make sure it's authoritative, that it comes from an organization, a reputed organization, instead of just random publications. Make sure that the data is accurate. If there is a possibility, verify that the data that one source provided can be validated by a different author. That it serves a purpose. There is a purpose behind the research and it's not a random bunch of numbers that are put together and thrown on the internet. Make sure that the data that you obtain actually has a purpose and a conclusion that it provides. As part of this coursework, I utilized gray literature in my research and my assignments, especially related to utilization of healthcare services, identifying disparities in access and affordability, healthcare spending and reimbursement trends, and also gray literature provides up-to-date data. There is always a lag between gray data and published data, and it kind of covered that period and provided the most up-to-date data. Provides a more current picture of what the healthcare industry looks like and some of the trends among the populations. It provides a 360 view of what is going on in the healthcare industry. Therefore, I utilized gray literature extensively in this class. Finally, we move on to our recommendations and conclusions. Gray data provides a systematic approach to research. Utilize specific terms to narrow down the volume of results. Search sources within sources. So look at a published peer-reviewed paper and go through the reference section to find quality gray literature. So search sources within sources. Include a wide range of sources from both academic and gray literature. It provides a comprehensive view of the topic that you're researching. If you're not sure whether the gray data is valid, contact the original authors and see if you can gather further information on what has been published. Verify your sources. Not everything that you find on the internet is credible and accurate. So make sure that you verify the sources before you put them on a research paper. Gray literature is extremely useful. Gray literature provides a 360 review of the evidence and research. It also tends to provide more current and comprehensive data. If you use gray literature, ensure relevance, accuracy, and purpose fit the research. Use gray literature mostly to supplement your peer-reviewed academic research, but not as your primary research source. That brings me to the end of my presentation. Let me know if you have any questions regarding anything that has been covered in this presentation. Thank you all for listening and have a good rest of your day.